And you loved it. Don't answer that question.
It made me angry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, the Blackboard thing, don't worry about that. The thing about it is I grew up on the East Coast, so my default mode is agitated, so it's okay.
That's a myth, though.
No.
I lived there for 2 years and I never experienced any of
I
that.
lived there for 30. I am the embodiment of agitation. This is funny though. This is actually great to hear that those two comments. And a similar thing happened earlier when I said, did anybody use the Blackboard app? Fiona's like, I used it, I deleted it, I hate it. Yeah, I use it. And that's the difference between anecdotal evidence and data-driven conclusions. Because what Sam and I just did was very anecdotal. I made a statement, East Coast is full of agitated people. That's a myth. Both of those are based on a single data point. You're listening to me and Sam, and I think both of our data points actually carry the same weight, honestly. Your experience, my experience.
Yeah.
One's not better than the other.
Wait, you're from where? Connecticut?
Delaware, South Connecticut.
Oh, I was in New England, so.
Exactly. Which is, I mean, and again, what does agitated mean? This is where logic can fail us. What does it mean when I say I'm agitated by default? Like, is agitated necessarily have a negative connotation? This is where logic can fail. You have to have really, really well-defined situations before you start getting into disagreements about like whether or not things are agitated or upsetting or
Right, because that can be excited or upset.
Exactly. So let's not rejoice about that. As you read through this, did anything feel weird? Did anything feel off? Feel strange? Okay, I'm so stressed. Oh, good. Please, Fiona, go ahead.
So, I might be nitpicky.
That's okay. Be nitpicky.
Your conclusion that you draw from the tweet at Blackboard Help for Support is that if you send us, we will help you. This is really saying you can tweet us and maybe you will get support. I feel like it's true.
That's true, but the problem with the word maybe is like maybe I'm demanding too much of them.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is unfair
Yeah, no,
when the license for this program costs so much that they should support it. So let's just assume, let's take the word maybe out.
Yeah.
And let's just assume that tweet at Blackboard Help for support. I don't see the word maybe in there.
Yeah.
So what that tells me is if I do that, if I contact you, you will reach back out and contact me. And this is frustrating because why am I frustrated with Blackboard's help page? Why am I frustrated? Because they
Don't help.
Because they haven't helped me. They historically have not helped me. So in other words, if I look at the if-then statement, I made it into an if-then statement there. If you send us a tweet, then we will help you. Now on the back, I broke that down into 4 possibilities. I want to make sure you understand why there are 4 possibilities. Because you send us a tweet. There are 2 possibilities for that. Either I do, or I don't. So there's 2 possibilities there. Think of that as heads or tails on a coin. Not 50-50, but there's 2 possibilities. And then we will help you. There's 2 possibilities there. Either they do, or they don't. So you see how there's 4 possibilities? I can send them a tweet, and they can help me. I can send them a tweet, and they might not help me. I cannot send them a tweet, and they can help me. Don't worry, don't think too hard about that one yet. Or I cannot send them a tweet, and they cannot help me. See how there's 4 possibilities if you kind of look through all the, okay, good. What I want to do real quick is just make sure the middle of the back page makes sense. I went through every single scenario and tried to flesh it out a little bit. The first scenario, if both of those statements are true, which means I sent them a tweet, and they help me. Do I have the right to be upset? Or I shouldn't say that. That's a stupid way to say it. Should I be upset? If I send them a tweet and they actually help me, should I be upset? I probably wouldn't have written a warm-up about it if that were the situation. Because that's kind of what should happen. Now, here's where it gets a little bit wishy-washy. And I have agonized over this for the past 25 years of my life. The best way to present the idea of an if-then statement. Did it make you feel a little bit weird when I said, since this is a fair outcome, did that make anybody kind of be like, that seems kind of unmathematical, you're calling something fair? But I didn't know how else to say it. It seems like the right thing happened. I sent them a tweet, they helped me. That seems like the right thing happened. It seems like it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing.
I literally in my head, I was like, that's logical that how we follow, but that's like bringing the definition into the.
It kind of is, right?
Yeah.
It is. But the reason I say that is because If you make the if part true and the then part's true, by definition, the entire thing is called a true statement. Not a fair, not a good, not a happy, not a good conclusion. It's just called true. It's a true statement. The entire statement is true. Is that okay? It's the definition of an if-then statement. Okay, good. Thank you. Or a definition of one of the truth values. Okay, here's possibility number 2. I send him a tweet, but they don't help me. Okay, we got a thumbs down from Bella. I like this. We got a thumbs down. Because that's exactly why that's why I made this warm-up. That's the situation that has happened every single time I've sent him a tweet. So, I feel frustrated. Just like you would probably. I just got done telling you, if you tell me how many hours you spent on Math 105 outside of this class, then I'm going to give you 2 extra credit points. When are you going to get pissed?
If you don't.
If I don't, if you put time on the back of that paper and then you get your progress report on Friday, you're like, that son of a bitch. I'm supposed to get 2 extra credit points. And if you don't get it, you're like sending me emails, right? Of course you are. That's the only situation you would be upset about, I would think. Cool? Okay, we'll come back to that in a second. We'll come back to that one in a second. Possibility 3 is a little weird. And I'm not saying it's likely to happen, I'm saying it's possible that it could happen. It's possible that I don't send Blackboard a tweet, but yet they still help me.
Yeah.
Possible. Possible, not likely to happen. Like out of the blue, all of a sudden they get a backlog cleared and I haven't sent them a tweet and I get an answer or something like that. Would I be pissed if that happened? Would I be confused if that happened? Yes. I would be confused as hell. But would I be pissed if they help? I wouldn't be pissed, right?
No.
I would be confused maybe because I'm like, wow, they read my mind. But at the same time, I wouldn't be upset by it because I was helped. So because there's a difference in kind of the way you would perceive possibility 3 from possibility 2. Possibility 2, you're pissed. That's why we call that one false. Not because you're pissed, but because there's an association that something didn't happen the way it was supposed to have happened. That one's false. In possibilities 3 and 4, however, I didn't live up to my end of the bargain. I didn't send the tweet. So whatever happens, we can't be upset or up in arms about. If I get help, that's great. If I don't get help, that's great. Because I didn't send the tweet. So possibility 4 is, I don't send a tweet and I don't get help. Can't be upset, right? You can't be upset with that if you didn't actually do the if part. Let's go back to the points again. Let's go back to the points on your warm-up, just as another example. If you tell me how many hours you spend outside of class on Math 105 stuff, then I will give you 2 extra credit points. Let's suppose you did on the back of your warm-up, tell me how many hours, and I gave you 2 extra credit points. That's good, right? That's a truth of the statement. Okay, good, true. If you told me on the back how many hours you spent, and I didn't give you extra credit points, you'd be pissed. That's the false. That's that weird little false that's right there. False. False. What if you didn't put hours on the back of your warm-up, and I gave you 2 extra credit points anyway? You wouldn't be pissed, might be confused, but you wouldn't be upset, right? Because you didn't satisfy. I said, if you do this, then I'll do this. So the only way you could really be upset is if you do that and I don't follow up. Any other scenario is off the table. If you don't live up to the if part, then I can choose to or not live up to the then part. Does that kind of make sense? So the only time these things are false is if you come up with the first part and whoever the second person is doesn't come up with the second part. That makes sense. Okay. What I want us to do now is I want to make up one for us to do now together. I want us to make up an if-then statement that we can analyze in class. So think together. Think on your own. Think with your little groups. Come up with a good if-then statement for us to work. I'm going to put it on the board. I'm going to use green and red, just like I did on the warm-up. We're going to identify the conclusion, the hypothesis.
If it's green and
We're going
red,
to
we should do
begin.
a Christmas one.
We can do a Christmas one.
'Cause it's green and
We can totally do it if you want
red. Or
to.
Hanukkah.
We can.
If they're-
We can do
I don't know.
holidays. We can do that if you want to. Clear
Holidays.
some space. We're going to make one up. It can be a math one. It can be a non-math one.
If you're a good kid, then you
It can
get
be ridiculous.
presents.
I'll give you the example that the first class did. There was one point a couple weeks ago, I forgot a bunch of stuff I needed for class at my office, and I realized it as I was handing the warm-up out. So I was like, I'll tell you what, do your warm-up, I'm gonna run to the office real quick, get the stuff and come back. And then I had them time me, and we actually made a math problem out of that. It was super fun. So I jogged up there and jotted that down. And they said, for their if-then was, if Sean forgets his crap in class, then he will run to his office to go get it, which I thought was kind of fun. So that was theirs. You don't have to use that one if you don't want to. You can use whatever one you want. I'm just giving you an example. It doesn't have to be a math if-then. It could be a conversational if-then. Like, use your car, maybe, Sam. Please think about that.
Yeah.
How do you use your
If you
car?
pull over to the side of the road where there's a ditch, your tire will fly off.
Is that what happened?
That's basically what happened. I was coming up
Your
Archie.
tire flew off?
But here's what happened. So I was going up Archie Briggs, and when you get up to Mount Washington Drive, there's that little patch on the side of the road.
With the gravel and the guardrail? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a little ditch there, but I pulled into that exact spot multiple times.
So there's a little ditch there, you're right.
Yeah, but since I've been in that exact spot before, I didn't think anything weird would happen. So I get back on the road and my car starts vibrating, and then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And then right as I approach Aubrey Glen, my tire just comes off.
People, we have it. Literally, we have, this is absolutely perfect, actually. May I just jump in? Because this is literally, the reason you are pissed and surprised right now is because of a false conditional. If. Is the first part green or red on the warm-up?
Green.
Green. If Sam pulls off on that little, that little air ditch, let's call it an area, on Archie Briggs, because he either does or doesn't, right? Does or doesn't, comma, then nothing bad will happen. This is perfect. This is literally perfect. Because it sounds, you've done it before multiple times. So it's like you pull off, and then you pull back on the road. You pull off, pull back on the road. You pull off, pull back on the road. And all of a sudden today, you pull off, and your wheel falls off.
Yeah.
This is the textbook case of a false condition. I love this. This is actually great. Not that I'm not trying to make light of it, but literally this is a textbook case of a false conditional. So what part is the hypothesis or the if part?
The
What
green.
color? The green part. So go ahead. I forget what I said. If it's draw a circle or put a circle the hypothesis. So and realize Sam pulls off on that little area on Archie Briggs. Sam either does or Sam doesn't. That's a true or false statement. True, Sam does pull off. False, if Sam doesn't pull off. Boom, love it. Perfect. The conclusion is nothing bad will happen to Sam's car. That's either true or false. Either nothing bad happens or nothing bad happens.
Or my car vibrates into oblivion.
I would just call that something bad happened. Something bad happened. What's the opposite of nothing? Something. Okay. So what is the only situation that renders this whole thing false? I love that, Bella. When something bad happens after. Right, because it's not just, I love that you said that, thank you, my friend. It's not just that something bad happened, because something bad can happen to cars in other places, yes? For example, I think I told you the story, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I was riding home from work, and as I went by on Mount Washington, not far from where your car had this issue, Sam, I looked up, and there was a wheel with an axle sticking out of it. I think I told you the story, right?
No.
I didn't tell you the story? Holy hell, this is crazy, Hillary, crazy. So I'm riding, I come off Regency, right down there, I go down Regency, I take a ride on the Mount Washington, that's the way I go home. I fall out, and I go down Archie Brakes, and I look up, I make the turn, look over, everything's safe, I look up, and on the right side of the road, right there by those apartments, there's a big ass tire on the wheel, inflated, with an axle sticking out of it. And I was, in my mind, I'm like, holy shit, you don't see that every, and I look up, and there's the rest of the car. This person was driving down the road, heard a crazy ass, like a shearing sound, the axle flies out of the differential, and she ends up on the side of the road. Now, I don't know if you, that little area right down there, there's not much room there. There's a bike lane, and there's a single lane, and then there's a median, so there's not a whole lot of place you can go. Thank God she was okay, she got the car off to the side. So, but that's the thing, bad things can happen to cars. The only way this statement is negated, though, is if a bad thing happens to Sam's car after they park there. That's what makes it negated. After parking in the same spot we've parked at forever, this time something bad happened. And that's when we kind of sit back and go, what the hell? We don't feel good about that. If Sam parked somewhere else and the car is fine, we wouldn't be having this discussion. Or if Sam was struck by another car, I'm not trying to wish this on anybody. If Sam was struck by another car and the car was not okay, I don't think anybody would be like, oh my God, thank God Sam's okay, but the car is wrecked, and understandably so.
If I get into an accident, I'm blaming you.
Oh. Well, you can't, your car's been shot, you're safe. But that's the thing, what makes this statement negated is if Sam pulls over on that side like we have forever, and then magically something happens with the car. Cool? Does that make sense? It's the same kind of thing you felt in your daily life. What's driven me nuts is trying to teach logic in a math class by using examples like this. So I found over the past 25 years of doing it that the easiest way to understand logic really is to not use math and just use conversational stuff like this. So that's why the only thing that's false is if the P or the green part is true and the Q or the red part is false, then the whole thing is false. Boom. We buying this a little bit? Maybe a little bit. We'll do more of this. We'll have another one on Wednesday for the warm-up.
Can you say that one more time?
Yes! The only way to make the whole if-then false, Janae,
Okay.
is to make the green part, or I call it P and Q. I gave it letters. If P is true and Q is false, that makes the whole thing false. In any other scenario, we call it true. And I put that, you're gonna keep this with you, my friend. This little bit here, you keep this today. And I've got that kind of in symbols on the back page under the possibilities 1 through 4. Yeah, I tend to over-explain things, which I think in most cases is a good thing. And that's why I wanted to give this to you to keep with you so you can have it for the next little bit. That okay? Gina, does that make sense? Thank you, my friend, great question. When you're done with the warm-up, make sure if you want those 2 points, go ahead and tell me how many hours you spent on this class outside of class time. And then, hand them up. Let's take our 5 now. Let's just take 5 now. I know it's a little bit early, but this is a pretty logical place. Pretty sensible place, I think, to stop. That was a terrible spill.
Conclusion, I suppose.
Oh, let's figure this damn thing out with the.
It's false.
Yes,
if
please. Ask.
The conclusion is false.
Oh, that's actually not a problem at all. You can get the exam done early if you want. Just turn it in.
This isn't a
That's one of the best things about having to be out of class. You can just do whatever you want. And chances are you can probably not something else next time.
It is now.
And then the only thing that you would want, if you wanted, is to be rated coupons for projects and exams. So you can just get those taken care of early too.
If the
I mean, yeah,
conclusion
you're
is
fine.
a conclusion
Cool.
is false.
All right. Do you actually have that spreadsheet accessible? Pull that up. I want to see. Yes.
Yeah.
No, you keep those. I just want the other
So the
page.
conclusion has to be false. Yeah. And the condition has to be true though.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I think I see what you did. I think. Maybe. Yeah. Let's take a look. Yeah. Maybe, and I.
Because I tried to change the formula a couple times and I just couldn't figure it out.
That's what I want to see. Is I want to see because I see the formula here, but now that I'm looking down, you're only going up. If you think about like the jump from there to there is $13,000. That's enormous. But then this is only like $200, $200, $200. So there's a huge jump there and then nothing here, and I want to know why.
That's so
Oh, yeah.
That is weird. I don't know why. Yeah, that's okay. You can find it. Let me know. I've got some water.
Are you done? Do you want me to take this?
It's Google's monopoly on
Yes.
everything.
Thank you.
I do a very, it has a attached to it, it's very.
Anybody ready?
Yeah, let's see, you remember what to do.
I finally caught up. I finished taking all of my biology tests.
Good.
So I am not as stressed. Yeah.
Got you. Well, the big one, I think the big one that killed you was missing that last project that we did. So, and since you were sick as a dog, let's have you do that and email it to me. Okay? It's still online. You can still download the document. You still do it.
Okay,
Okay.
last time I have to ask you,
Yeah.
my AP instructor
And then I like, was it the next class?
Did it show up in your progress report? Do you remember? It probably didn't because you didn't finish it. Okay. So to figure out how to, and I don't think we was here either.
There you go.
and when I could be able to help me petition.
Send me an email about that. Let me go back and look and find.
Took BL 232.
Yeah, because if you didn't, if you still have it and you didn't finish
It
it.
doesn't matter, I guess, that's what
Yeah.
I thought, other quizzes.
Absolutely. Or your morning class quizzes too. The big thing is that project. Cool? Alright, so you found it. Hot damn, there it is. D5 plus 26 times. It's okay. Scroll down one cell. Let me see the next cell. Just arrow down. Yeah. Okay, now that's 2%. See that? That's 2% times D6. So, okay, there's two things going on. I think I see it. Two things going on. So, first of all, I know what you're trying to do with the D6, the D5, the D7,
according to
D8.
the policy,
The
I
trick
would
with that one
need the
is,
letter of
you
support.
wanted to make it an absolute reference, not a relative reference. That's mumbo jumbo, it's a mumbo jumbo. Remember this now. You couldn't?
No, I couldn't make it absolutely. I tried to make it like
I may as well do that tonight.
And I used to Excel on like the outline. But it was like nothing I could do to make it.
I'll like having them.
That's so
Unless there's
Give me 1 second. I wanna Google that right now, because I don't use a Mac. So let me just Google it real quick so I see if I can figure it out. Because that's bizarre. I want you to be able to fix this and get those points back. Absolute reference, Excel, Mac, see what it says, see what the world says, World Wide Web says.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
I remember the good old days when you hit random subreddit.
Okay, PC or Windows based, we don't want that by pressing F4.
Yeah.
Did you try this, whatever the hell that symbol is, P?
no, I didn't.
Try that for me, my friend, okay? See if that works. I can tell you on a PC what to do. It's the F4 button. But I bet you don't have an F4 button. So do you know what that symbol means?
Yeah, so, yes, I
It's like a button on your keyboard.
Yeah.
On your Macintosh, my friend, not a PC. That's a Macintosh button. Do you know what that, does that ring a bell for you? Give it a whirl. So what you're gonna wanna do, in the video that you watched, I highlighted something and then press the F4 button. You're gonna highlight it and press whatever the hell that is in T. And see if that works.
Okay.
Give it a whirl when you get a chance. We'll get it fixed, okay? You rock. Thank you, my friend.
Pretty gross looking.
Create, or new, what's new? No, yeah. What's new? Click it. Google Sheets. And then you make sure you don't make the thing. Okay, so click on a cell, any cell. Click a cell, any cell. Right click. And then go down to the data validation. And then, list from range, list from A range, and then your checkbox. Or at the bottom. And then just do save. And then just checkbox it up, and then click the one next to it, which you're gonna click like the actual word. Right click. Go down. And then do conditional formatting. And then this is the kind of hard part. You're gonna wanna do apply to range A2, good, and then do put that one in, and then go to down all the way. So formula is, and then do equals, and then do B2.
It's hard to get.
You can't do that. Yeah, I know, it's ridiculous. Equals. And then all caps are true. I think letter of support. And then if you want to be crossed out or like change color, don't click on yet.
Yes!
Click that. Yeah. And then you want it to be green? No.
Yes, at least 3. I'm trying to get more, but guarantee yourself 3.
And then write something there.
Correct. What do you mean expire?
Write something there. I don't know.
Well, you can't do ones that are already passed. So you can do one that I'm offering. I'm gonna offer a bundle too. Like I'm gonna 3 this week. Even though next week is Thanksgiving, I'm gonna offer some that are gonna be due on Friday as well. And I'll probably have 3 more for next week, and then probably 3 more.
Okay, also, there's no way I can put all of them into a Word document and email you my screenshot for the, because you said that you can't see the Word frames.
When you email it to me,
And then you
Right, so you can't get into Blackboard, is that what's going on? Oh, okay, so it never let things be uploaded, okay. So we'll just keep having email. So what you're gonna have to do is attach files. I think what, are you sure? Because when,
Write that down too.
okay, let's take a quick look at it, because what happened is it's not showing up as an attachment, it's showing up as an spam. Yeah, we may have to. We may have to just make this figure out how to make this work with technology, right? I got you. I know, but shit. Okay, so let me just take a look and see if one of your stuff is still. Yes. What's that?
Yeah.
If I can, because otherwise my inbox has thousands of emails. You already have different if I still get my response. I'm trying to see the other ones. See, this is the problem. This is how it looks when it gets to me. It's not an attachment on my end. An attachment would be a little document up here. So the problem is when I try to reply to this, well, what happens is this. It blows up. You see, I don't know. I've never gotten a good answer as to why that happens. So, but you say when you try to send it, you click on the paperclip. Okay, let's just do this. Just confirm for me. Let's just make an exception because I want you to get this crap in. Everything you've got, bring me the hard copies, okay? We'll get it taken care of. I apologize. I wish Blackboard was working for you, and I get everything right, which means this is not your fault. So we'll take care of it, okay? Bring me all that stuff. We'll get you cleared up. And tell your counselor we're working on it. You should feel better, girl. This is good. We're gonna get it taken care of, okay? And tell your counselor what's going on, okay? So they know. Yes. What's up, Augie? Hell yeah. You'll get it done this week.
So you encourage us to do more.
Statistically, people that do more quizzes tend to get better averages overall. I don't know why that is, they just seem to. So it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all. Cool. Alright. He's out.
No, I meant like Thursday.
Get some rest, alright, big Al? Be well, be well.
Oh, get better.
Hi. Wait, yes.
Right.
You're a little rushed here. What is this? You give her how you want. Oh, you have to use what's called developer mode. Which is not hard to do. I can show you a quick-ish how to do it. You have to, it depends on what. Yeah. Well, it depends. Let's see what's out of here. So what you have to do is you have to create a tab up here called the developer. No, it's actually.
You're doing great. I am actually.
Ah, got it. Ah.
Literally just trying to.
There it is. And then you go and you add things like.
100%.
Yep, it's just certain. This is what you have to do with Google because I forget. It's either a form or an ActiveX, and I forget which one it is. But there's your checkbox, and then what you can do is you can format the control, and then check the properties. And this is where it gets fun. Like for like a 30-second program, someone's gonna take an hour to figure out. Just so you know.
I'll figure it out.
So like this checkbox controls a linked cell, and you can say, I want to make that linked cell A1. And then what happens is A1, if you now when you check the box, it controls that cell. So it's pretty slick. I use these every once in a while. I use these. The problem is, if you ever notice with some of my spreadsheets it says like enable content, a lot of that is because of using stuff like this. And
Where you can mess it up.
it's where Windows thinks something might be mess upable about that thing. Like they're macro, they're running subroutines, so it's almost like an animated bot that's doing something in the spreadsheet, even though Microsoft Excel isn't smart enough to realize that it's a Microsoft Excel bot. So it just,
They figure that out.
it's like a big false positive, they're always nervous about this kind of thing. So, but yeah, that's
It's
like,
like when you log your account, it looks like sending you notification on your phone, like you logged in.
you log in,
It's
like,
like,
yes,
yeah.
big, exactly. But the reason they do that is because they'd rather false positive than false negative. So same thing, that makes sense. But yeah, this is totally cool. I mean, I would say just go in first and install that, developer tab, yeah.
It was on doing things
There it is, right there. So then you went to customize route, right? Yeah, it used to be an add-in, this is great. Then just check that box.
Oh, cool.
And then you just kind of mess around with it. Eventually you'll figure it out. It's really badass. You can hide a lot of stuff like code that could be a number, and then you check the box and put the number somewhere else. It's pretty simple. So yeah, have fun with it.
I'm probably gonna use it for like something.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely great.
Because I was
You
thinking
can
having
use-
like multiple different.
Totally. And you can have check boxes or radio buttons, which the difference there is check boxes you can check more than one, but a radio button you can pick one and only one. And depending on what you need, you might need, one or the other. So, cool?
Yeah.
Boom. Terrible. There we go.
That's false.
That's false. If I put my hand up, then you slap, high five, false.
No, if you fist bump the high
That's
five.
right, false. All right, you badasses, I recorded that entire break. Okay, we're gonna.
I noticed.
Wicked professional. Sorry about that, Brian, but I'm gonna go ahead and, now that you've